boys and girls, and welcome to Gordon Guitar and to a beautiful song from Jamie Miller called I Lost Myself in Loving You. So a great one from Jamie Miller. We have the capo set high here up on the 6th fret because we want to have these higher notes for the first verse, so that is the reason. So let's start capo on 6th and let's go with the chords. I believe we have 7 chords to handle here. So let's start first with the A minor. Okay, so that is open A, second D, second G, first B, and open E. Next is C. So that is third on A, second on D, open G, first B, and open E. Let's move on to G. So that is third on E, second on A, open B, open G, third B, and third E. Then we have the E minor. So that is open E, second A, second D, open G, open B, and open E. Next is D. So open D, second G, third B, and second E. Then we have B minor. So that is a bar here on the 2nd fret from the A string and down. So that means from below and up we have 5 strings there. And the rest will be 4th on D, 4th on G, and 3rd on B. Finally, we have the GB chord. That is a G chord but with a B in the bass. Right? So I don't think we will use the chord as it is, but I can give you that anyway. So that will be 2nd on A, then open D, open G, open B, and 3rd G. Alright, so it's very easy to handle all these chords in the way we need to handle them. So let's start with the first verse. We have a chord progression there that goes E minor to C to G and to D. Okay, you will play that for 3 rounds, and on the 4th round you're gonna exchange the D and play instead, you're gonna play the B minor. So on the 4th round you're gonna play E minor, C, G, and B minor. And what we do here, we're just gonna play downs for all these chords. I'm gonna play 2 downs for all these chords. And in this first verse, for the E minor, C, G, and D, we're gonna add the 3rd fret on the E string. This one. And that is one reason for why we need to have the capo set here, to be able to reach up to this high note here. So that means when you grab the E minor, and for all the other chords, C, G, and D, you want to add this extra note here, 3rd E string. So that gives you the sound. This one, bottom. And the C, the same way here. You have the C and you add the 3rd fret on E. On the G chord, you already have that built into the chord. And for the D, you just kind of skip the 2nd fret E string here. For this first verse, you use a standard D later, but for this first verse, you skip the 2nd and you go to 3rd instead to get the same note there. So you're gonna play 2 downs on E minor, 2 on C, 2 on G, and 2 on D for 3 whole rounds. So it will sound like this. And so on, okay? And on the 4th round, instead of the last D chord here, you're gonna replace that with a B minor. And for the B minor, you don't have to bother about the 3rd fret E string to get the note. You will play the chord as it is, and that is instead the 2nd fret on the E string, where you bar your finger here on the 2nd fret. All right, so the last chord progression will sound like this. So that is the first verse. Then comes the pre-chorus. I'm trying to find the heart I lost, so that's where we are in the lyrics. So you're gonna play the chord progression C to E minor to G and to D. And for this one, the G, you will use the GB chord here. So that means 2 downs on C, 2 downs on E minor, 2 downs on the GB, and 2 downs on D. Okay, so that will sound like this. So from now on, you don't need to use the 3rd fret E string. This is just for the first verse. So you're gonna play in this pre-chorus in the same way as the first verse. And that takes us to the first chorus. I lost myself in loving you. So that is where this lyric come, okay? So we have the following chords again: E minor, C, G, and D. Okay, so you're gonna play that 2 downs for each chord, and you're gonna play that for 4 rounds. But on the 4th round, the last round, you're just gonna play the E minor and the C. During the G and the D parts, the last 2 chords, that's just a vocal part. So the last will be just like this: E minor, C, C. And then comes the vocal part in the end of the chorus: I lost myself in loving you. Right? This is followed by a post-chorus, played still in the same way with the same chords, 2 rounds of E minor, C, G, and D. We don't have to go through that, and that is the post-chorus. Okay, for the second verse, we're gonna use a different technique now. We're gonna use some plucking, but the chords are the same, pretty much. So you're gonna have the E minor, C, G, D. And on the next round, this is a shorter verse, you just have E minor, C, G, and B minor, right? But like we said here, we're not gonna use the chords as they are. So one round of this chord progression will sound like this. Right? And for the B minor, you're gonna use this pattern here. So the chord progression, the last one, the E minor, C, G, and B minor, we sound like this. All right. So what we do there for E minor, you just alternate the 2nd fret D string with the open G. And the open G is what will be here for all the chords, the E minor, C, G, and D, except from the B minor. So you're gonna alternate the open G and just shift the bass notes. So for the E minor, the bass note will be 2nd fret D string. So 4 times alternating will sound like this. And then comes the C, and then you shift the bass note to the 3rd fret A string and use still the same open G string. 4 times. Next chord will be G, so you shift to the 3rd fret E string this time. 4 times. And for D, you just play the open D and open G. For the next round, the start is the same: E minor, C, and G. So and the final chord, the B minor, will be played on the 2nd fret A string, starting there, and alternating that one with the 4th fret D string. Alright, so that is the second verse, and that takes us to the pre-chorus. You're gonna use the same technique here, but some different chords. So the chords will be the same as we learned for the first pre-chorus. So that means C. So you're gonna start and use the C now. 4 times, alternating, and then E minor. And then we have this GB chord, okay? So for this one, you're gonna play the 2nd fret A string and alternating that with the open G. And then comes the D. And then over again with the C, E minor, and the GB. And the last D chord, that is just a vocal part, so you're not gonna play that one. So use the same melody plucking, you can call it that, and use that for the chords C, E minor, G, B, D, C, E minor, and G, B. No D in the end there. Okay, that leads us to the second chorus. Here we have a very, very easy strumming pattern. Still the same chords, E minor, C, G, and D. And the strumming will be just down, clap, if you can call that a strumming. And with the clap there, I wouldn't suggest to clap on the strings. So for this one, clap on the woods. That's better to let the strings ring out, so you have more kind of music to this playing here. So E minor, D, G, D, E minor, clap, C, clap, G, clap, D, and so on. So for 4 rounds like this, just let the strings ring out. And the final. Alright, so that is the second chorus. And the post-chorus there, right after, for 2 rounds, the same chorus will be played in the same way. Down, clap. Alright. That takes us to the bridge part. I believe it's about 2 minutes and 30 seconds into this song. In the lyrics, I lost myself in loving you, so we recognize that by now. So the chords here will be A minor to E minor to GB to D. That is 1 chord progression. You're gonna play that for 2 rounds. And here you're gonna only use the downs and play 2 downs for each chord. So 2 downs on A minor, E minor, GB, and D. And for the second round, same there. Yeah. Then comes the final chorus parts played with the same chords. You're gonna use the down clap for this one for 4 rounds. And we have a post chorus right after there. You're gonna play it in the same way, down clap for another 2 rounds of the same chords, E minor, C, G, and D. And then this beautiful song ends with an outro, still the same chords, but this time only 1 down for each chord there, C, G, and D. So, Jamie Miller, I lost myself in loving you, and that is kind of what I feel for you guys, especially you who subscribes and follow me on Gordon Guitar. Love you guys, and I appreciate all your support. So see you soon, keep on watching, and don't forget, play tuned.